Town, Petco Park, a new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padres gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padre gang. Yeah, that.
And good day, everybody. It is April 24th, 2022. Let me get my lighting up a little bit there. There we go. All right. It's the Talking Friars pregame show. Ben Fadden, your host here. Padres, Dodgers. Later today, 1:10 p.m. Pacific time, first pitch. Valley Sports San Diego, 97.3 The Fan. I appreciate everyone for stopping by here for the pregame show. We'll have the next episode of the podcast, the YouTube show, full episode, reaction to the whole series, all that, everything that happened during the Dodger-Padres series coming up after the game. That'll be episode 154. As for last night, Padres won 3-2. Obviously, they had the Austin Nola walk-off. Gil says, let's take 2 out of 3. Let's go. Hopefully they do that today. Got Sean Manaea on the mound. Last night, Darvish was tremendous after those first 2 rocky innings. I mean, he threw 50 pitches at least through 2 innings. I know that. And then after that, he settled down 13 batters in a row. He retired. You know, the first game of the series, it was the Padres' bats, right? They had 4 hits. Yesterday, for the Dodgers, it was kind of like their time. I know the Padres didn't score 6 runs like the Dodgers did the first game. And, okay, so they both had 5 hits, but the Dodgers didn't have as many hits as they had on Friday. That's, I guess, my point. So the pitching staff did a good job. I mean, Luis Garcia didn't help those 2 singles there when he came in, and then made Taylor Rogers have to try to get out of it, which isn't ideal, obviously. A 5-out save, that's not really what you want your closer to be attempting to do. But that's the situation that the Padres kind of had to be in. You know, when Pierce Johnson was put on the IL, you know, you have to rely on your guys that you were relying on when you had him on the bullpen or on the roster, right? So you have to rely on those guys even more. I have no idea what's wrong with my camera today, but oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Deserteries, they have Kershaw. We have Sean Diego. That's right. Sean Diego. As for, the pitching matchup, Kershaw-Manaea today, and we can go back to yesterday's game for a little bit after I talk about this. Kershaw's allowed 4 runs last time out. But obviously he had that Minnesota Twins start where he had a perfect game going. He threw a perfect game. The innings that he threw, he did not allow a base runner, and then Dave Roberts took him out. And they were saying they're in it for the long run. They're trying to win, all that stuff. As for Manaea, 1.42 ERA coming in. He's had 3 quality starts, at least 6 innings each start to begin his Padre career so far. 6 innings, gave up 1 run last time against Cincinnati. That was that Tommy Pham home run in the first inning. But this is the pitching matchup I know that I've been waiting for this whole weekend. You know, the first game, it was Nick Martinez on the mound. I mean, you know me, I'm a diehard fan, so I'm going to watch any matchup, but I'd rather see Manaea Kershaw than Martinez Urias, you know. And then last night, Darvish and then Tyler Anderson. I mean, the Darvish part of it is good, but I'd rather see Kershaw against the Padres. You know, not as a fan, like I'd rather see Anderson pitch against the Padres. I think the Padres have a better chance of winning against him than Kershaw. But in terms of like the, really cool matchup, like Kershaw-Manaea, that's it. Like, I don't know why this isn't Sunday Night Baseball. I know that teams don't want to have back-to-back Sunday Night Baseballs, especially when it's at their ballpark. And it's getaway day, right? Last Sunday for the Padres, it wasn't getaway day. I know it was for the Braves because they were moving on to another series, but the Padres were staying home to face Cincinnati. But this is the better matchup than last Sunday. What was last Sunday? I'm trying to remember what last Sunday was. Last Sunday, it was Darvish pitching, right? Darvish and Vladimir Gutierrez, I think, for the Reds. So this is, on paper, is a better matchup to put on Sunday Night Baseball. I mean, today, the Sunday Night Baseball game is the Phillies and the Brewers, I think. Let me check that real quick. I think it's Phillies, Brewers. Yeah. One team's 6-9 and the other's 9-6. Would you rather have that, or would you rather have the Padres Dodgers both have 10 wins? The pitching matchup is Eric Lauer, former Padre, against Aaron Nola, Austin's brother. So I guess Padres connections there, but sorry, Lauer pitching on Sunday Night Baseball is not as appealing as Manaea Kershaw. That's just me. Maybe I'm an idiot, but that's just me. But getting a little bit back to yesterday's game, and I'll talk about this on the episode live tonight after the game. Hope you join me. Jurickson Profar was doing it all. I mean, had obviously that foul ball off his kneecap. It was like, is he going to stay in? He didn't know if he was going to stay in. And then he did stay in. It was like, oh, wow, okay. And then he continued to battle, fouling off pitches. I hate to say the word battle because it reminds me of Jace Tingler, but that's what he did. And then he comes out to left field and he throws out Chris Taylor to start that top of the 10th inning after the flyout to totally kill any momentum the Dodgers had there. You know, if Profar catches it, the flyout, Taylor tags up, gets to third because Profar's just lollygagging or whatever. Okay, now you have one out, runner on third. Dodgers might score there. Instead, you have two outs with nobody on base, and now all of a sudden there's no momentum, and I think they got the strikeout, right, to end that inning. So really good job there out of Profar, and then obviously the Padres could not have scripted that bottom of the 10th any easier. I mean, that's a tailor-made, okay, runner on second, extra innings, this is what you do. If it was, let's say, Myers, well, maybe not Myers. Let's say if it was Manny and Hosmer coming up, those two batters there, instead of Grisham Nola, maybe they don't win at that point. You know, what if Manny pops out or something, infield pop-up, or Hosmer grounds one to second base with two outs? You know, who knows what happens there? You think, but with Grisham and Nola there, Grisham, I think he's nailed every bunt that I've seen so far this season. And then Nola, the ultimate contact hitter when he's healthy, that's exactly what he does. And then you have C.J. Abrams, who made the last out the last inning, and he's the fastest guy on the team. And so it's an easy get the guy from second to third on the bunt, and then an easy sac fly. He can walk to home, and the Padres win. So I just love the execution there. And then the big move today before the game, Luis Camposano called up, replacing Luke Voit. Luke Voit going on the 10-day injured list. That was about at 9 a.m. Pacific time, a little after that was officially announced. Campy was spotted by a fan outside. I don't know if it was outside or inside Petco last night. So that obviously brought up the suspicion that Voit was going to be put on the IL. It's retroactive to yesterday. So it's 9 days from now, starting today. So tomorrow would be the third day because it's retroactive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So April 1st would be the 10th day. So the second, or May 1st, sorry. May 2nd, I think, is when Luke would be able to come off. But you don't know how. It doesn't feel like to me that this injury is anything to like totally worry about. I think the positive, so I mean, it was biceps tendon injury, so bicep soreness pretty much. Doing a lot of curls on the gym, I guess. I wouldn't be too worried about this, and I'll get to this more after the game on the next episode live here on this YouTube channel. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it might be actually good to have Luke maybe settle down, take a couple days off, like literally off, not doing anything, and just clear his head a little bit and maybe come back with a little bit different of a approach and realize what the other team is going to be giving him. The other team is going to be throwing him breaking balls, and they're going to be throwing him breaking balls all day long consistently. Look at the scouting reports. Look at the at-bats that he's done against breaking balls. I don't remember if that double, the one double, the extra base hits that he's had so far this year, the one extra base hit, if that was on a fastball, I can't remember, but it was a double over the left fielder's head against the Braves last week, the first homestand of the year. For me, my takeaway here is, can he just, maybe a little bit of a mental break? That's kind of what I take away from that. But we talked about the pitching matchup already. We can get here to the bullpen situation. And obviously, I'll get to all your guys' comments and questions like I do always at the end before we get out of here. But getting to this bullpen situation, all their high leverage guys pitched yesterday. Taylor Rogers tried the 5-out save, didn't get it. Luis Garcia, 19 pitches. Obviously, the back-to-back hits, Chris Taylor and Gavin Lux had the wild pitch that got Taylor to third. That just didn't set up well. Trey Turner hits that double off of Rogers to tie the game. Suarez had 9 pitches coming in extras. He did well. So Chris Matt, Lamet, Stammen, Hill, they've all had a day off. Avila, Kerr. I mean, I want Kerr to get in the game. Maybe they're waiting for the Cincinnati series to do that. Or if it's a blowout today, they'll do it. But I really want to see what Kerr can have against elite hitters, And Cincinnati doesn't have elite hitters in their lineup. So Jonathan India and Votto aren't elite hitters in my book, but those are the 2 best hitters, I think, on the Reds team, and that's the next team they're playing. So if they're waiting till Cincinnati to deploy Ray Kerr, who was called up for Pierce Johnson earlier this week, then, okay, he's probably not going to pitch today. But I really hope that he does get in. I want to see him against those elite hitters like the Dodgers have. But Rogers, these 4 guys can probably go back-to-back days today because you want to win the series against the Dodgers. I know that they're just going to say it's another game, but we know that it's not. Come on, we know it's not just another game. To the players, I'm pretty sure it's not just another game as well. Obviously, to the fans, it's not. I want to tell myself it's just another game, and it's not this big game, but you'd rather win the series, right? That's the bullpen situation, by the way, that bullpen chart, and we'll move on here. You hope that they win this game because this can literally take them to 11-6. You'd rather be 11-6 than 10-4. So you'd feel pretty good about yourself. You'd have a winning homestand, and then now you have an 8-game road trip consisting of the Reds, not a playoff team, the Pirates, not a playoff team, and the Cleveland Guardians, probably not a playoff team. And winning this game would piss off Dodger fans. So those are all good things in my book. It feels like a must. Yesterday was more the must win because they definitely had the lopsided matchup with Darvish on the mound on paper against Tyler Anderson. But today, it would be great to see Grisham get going, take Kershaw yard again. Remember, he took him yard in 2020. That would be great to see. We can get to the lineups here now. Both teams have their lineups out. It's not the A lineup. That's a what to watch for me today. Can they take advantage of that? And the Dodgers continue to have back-to-back games here with not 6 runs like they had Friday, right? You have Mookie, Freddie, Turner, the 2 Turners, actually, 3-4 hitters, Max Muncy, Chris Taylor, Bellinger. But then the last 2 guys, Hanser Alberto playing second base in place of Gavin Lux, and then Austin Barnes. He's still good, but he's not Will Smith, right? Will Smith gets into the middle of the order. That's not Austin Barnes. So they don't have their A lineup top to bottom like they did the first 2 games of the series. So can they take advantage of that? I don't want to say that the Padres have their A lineup today, but it's pretty good, right? You get Nola and you get Alfaro in there. Alfaro I'd rather have up at the plate than Voit. I know Voit's on the IL. They probably didn't want to just push Campusano right in there as a DH today, and they wanted Nola to get a day off his feet. You get Alfaro catching Manaea. But I like if Cronenworth can continue what he did last night, this is a good top of the order right now. Nola, Jake, Manny, Profar. Hosmer, he's still hitting 358, but I'm starting to see more of those ground outs, getting to the end of April here. So maybe his clock's kind of recognizing that. But I like those first 5. Myers, I'm seeing a little bit better at bats out of him. He's still late on fastballs and stuff, but he'll get it together, I think, at least a little bit. 7, 8, 9, I like Kim batting ninth. You have that second leadoff type guy. And then Grisham, I know it's a lefty on the mound with Kershaw, but he's had okay success against Kershaw. He has that home run in 2020 where, he was talking to the Dodger dugout or talking a bunch of crap to them. He's hitting .333 off Kershaw so far in his career. So I like this lineup today. The 3-4 hitters have combined for 21 RBIs so far this season in Manny and Profar. One of my what to watch fors as well today is Jurickson Profar and his health. Because yesterday, obviously, he fouled that ball off of his knee, and he was limping around pretty good there. You didn't know, if he was going to stay in. He wanted to, but sometimes they save him from themselves. But he was limping around. After swings, you could tell it just wasn't going away. But then he came back, made that great play defensively. It seemed like his knee was fine there. And so we'll see. Usually the next day, maybe it feels, there's some swelling or something going on. So will he be the same guy? He's hitting right in the middle of the order, so you would think that he's fine. But I think that's something to watch for. I mentioned the Dodgers not having their best lineup out there today. And then I mentioned Grisham hitting .333 off Kershaw. Can he get something going there? But I know rosters, we might talk about this a little bit tonight after the game on the next episode, just reacting to this entire series and what's coming up. Rosters, they don't expand, they decrease, they shrink starting in May from 28 to 6 guys. So who are those 2 guys that aren't going to be on the 26-man roster come May? You feel like Beatty or Azokar, one of them isn't going to be on the roster. And right now it's probably Beatty who's not going to be on it, just to be honest, what I'm seeing. But do they want to give up on him less than a month into the season? When they can send Azokar, just send him down to the minor leagues and bring him back up when you want to. But in terms of winning right now, Azokar is good. You have those extra inning type games. He can be a runner on second base. If, let's say, it's the bottom of the order, you have nothing going, you put Azokar up there, he gets out, he's the last out of the inning. Guess what? Boom, he's the extra inning runner at second base, Or he can pinch run in late inning games, or late game scenarios, late innings, So that's an option as well. And it's not like he's lost at the plate, And same thing in the field. Who is Grisham bringing more value, defensively than Azokar is? You could argue that it's about the same. So that'll be interesting. And then Pedro Avila, I think, is obviously the obvious choice to be sent down when those rosters shrink. But my Padre pick for today is Manny Machado. He has homered, I think, twice off Kershaw in his career. I'm 9-6 so far this season. In my pregame show, Padre picked the one player I think will get a hit. If I can only pick one Padre today to get a hit, I'm picking Manny. Last night I had Haas. He went 0 for 4. I'm just seeing more of that regular Haas. Had that ground out late, pounded the ball into the ground to second base, I think, to lead off the 9th inning. So it feels like he's going to be trending down a little bit. And before I get to some of your questions, we can talk a little bit about some news and notes here. Yankees are underway. Garrett Cole on the mound there to have an early lead for him, 2-0. Cincinnati's up on St. Louis, 2-0. San Francisco's up 4-1 on Washington in the nation's capital. Anthony Rizzo hit that two-run home run, by the way, for the Yankees to give Garrett Cole that early lead there in the bottom of the first. Hopefully there's no Yankee fans, throwing trash onto the field today and making fun of people getting hurt. Let's see. We got other division games. The Mets playing the Diamondbacks today at 1:10, same time as the Padre game. The Diamondbacks won last night. Sunday night games, Milwaukee and Philadelphia, like I mentioned. Let's see. Michael Conforto, I did want to mention that. He is probably going to be out for the season from what Scott Boras was saying. He had a shoulder surgery, shoulder cleanup is what I think John Heyman said, but he might just be speaking for the agent, for Boras a little bit there. So I think that was a little bit of a pipe dream or something. If the Padres could go get Conforto after the draft, because I think the draft compensation goes away after the draft, but obviously that's not going to happen on a 1-year deal. So the good news though is Profar's playing well. Brent Rooker, when he comes off the IL, if he can get going in AAA, he might be an option. Trace Thompson, Jose Azocar, like I just mentioned a couple minutes ago, he seems to be fitting in pretty well. Who knows what they do with Beatty? I think that they send down Azocar because they can send him down. I don't think they can send Beatty down. Yeah, Jason says Beatty's out of options. So, but he agrees with me that it will likely be him. Well, now, I mean, based on play, I think it should be him, but based on like options available, guys that can be sent down and all that stuff, it feels like Azocar would be sent down because they don't want to give up on Beatty yet, but that would be just me. But let's end this with some comments. I know there's a lot of people in here commenting, so I appreciate that. All right, let's see here. Jason S., have you heard anything about Profar's knee? Hopefully just a bad bruise. Haven't heard anything injury-wise. Fouled it off hard. I know I mentioned that earlier. I hope that he's good. I mean, he's in the middle of the lineup today, so you would think that he's all good, and he'll probably just try to continue moving the knee. And it's probably – what's the weather like today? I should probably look. Because, I mean, Sunday games are usually pretty hot, so he probably shouldn't – I mean, he won't have a hard time really staying moving and all that. 81 degrees in La Mesa, 77 in San Diego, so he shouldn't have a hard time staying warm. I guess that's my point with that knee. I think it's just a bruise. Yeah, I agree. Jason says, carrying 3 catchers is a great idea. Now Alfaro can DH without worrying about anything happening to Nola. Right, he can DH, and then you just hope that Nola doesn't get hurt. Oh, well, no, I get your point, actually, yeah. So what Jason, I think, is saying, Alfaro can DH. Nola, if he gets hurt, unfortunately, sometime during a game, if that happens, you can have Campusano go catch and not have to have the pitcher be hitting. Like I think the Reds had to do this past week. So, yeah, I'd rather have Alfaro catching than Campusano, but I get your point. I don't think that once Voit is healthy, I think Campusano goes right back down. Because with 26-man rosters, they don't have a ton of depth in the outfield. So I think that they want to prioritize that. They want to, the pitching, obviously, you have Snell and Clevenger coming back at some point. You're going to need to have Martinez still there, right? They're probably going to want Gore still up. I'd want him the way he's pitching. I'd want him to continue making starts. So there's probably going to be a roster crunch there in the bullpen. Some really good relievers going down to AAA. Scrolling through the comments here. Gil says, don't want Grisham homering off Kershaw. Wouldn't want to hurt his feelings. Yeah, he crushed that. He crushed this ball in 2020. And the Dodgers got super salty about it. Hang on, let me find this. They got super salty. Where is it? Oh, I like this edit that happened. Okay, here we go. This is from 2020, Grisham off Kershaw. You know that not Toyota, whatever car commercial Kershaw's in, they edited that and had Grisham hitting the bomb off him.
The slider? Nah. The changeup? Oh, I've got it. Curveball.
In the air to deep right field for Grisham. It's gone, and the Padres tie it 1-1. One swing of the bat will get it done.
6th home run surrendered by Kershaw this year. And there's Grisham's reaction. Looking towards his teammates. And then when he rounded third base, some chirping from the Dodgers dugout, he retorted. Still seems like there's some.
So yeah, that was Grisham hitting that bomb off Kershaw in 2020. Hopefully, he can get going today. Would that be huge or what? Now you have your 8 hitter going off. That would be good. That would be big. Greg says his Padre pick today is Nola. Okay, that would have probably been my second option behind Manny. I hope they sneak Beatty on the Dodgers bus after the game. Why? Our odds, he's going to go on the bus and then he's going to go hammer us in June when they play again. Ari Fan Geek, Luke Voigt, it's Luke Voigt, but it's reminding me of Adam Frazier. Rough start, probably will wake up halfway through the season or at the end like Adam Frazier did. Well, I get what you're saying, but those two guys are two polar opposite guys. One doesn't even play the field and can bench press Adam Frazier, and Adam Frazier plays the field and he doesn't have power. So they're two totally different people. But yeah, I guess that's the thing that's crazy and cool, I guess, about baseball as well, is it doesn't matter what your size is. Anyone can struggle, but anyone can also do good. You know, Adam Frazier was an all-star. I know he didn't have power, but he was an all-star, right? There's people that can be all-stars without power. Then there's others that are all-stars because of their power. But it's just all different shapes and sizes of the game. Yeah, the hand-cooked tire ads, Jason, you're right. That was the Kershaw ad, where that someone edited Grisham's homer in there. All right, so this will do it. This is the Talking Friars pregame show. Dodgers, Padres, 1:10 p.m. Pacific Time, Valley Sports San Diego, 97.3 The Fan. Later today, come in to this live broadcast. I'll post another one live after the game to give my thoughts, give your thoughts about the entire series. One person's already sent in a voicemail giving their thoughts about yesterday's game, so feel free. Send a voicemail with your thoughts on what's happening during today's game, or any thoughts you have about Luke Voigt's injury or whatever, or any thoughts you have about the last 2 games of the series, what you're thinking about the next road trip, anything. 619-335-5770. 619-335-5770 to leave a voicemail expressing your thoughts, and I will play them later today on the next episode. So I appreciate everyone. This has been the Talking Friars pregame show. Ben Fadden signing off. Enjoy the game, the post-game reaction, and then an episode live after the game. See ya.